That's good. Hey, Internet, Dave Walker here again at the Winter TV Tour in California, Television Critics Association. I'm with Eric Kohanik, longtime TCA member, board member, ex-president. He's done all kinds of jobs for the TCA over the years.
Don't forget the hotel coordinator.
Hotel coordinator, which is the biggest job of all. And I wanted to take a second and maybe ask Eric to think about and talk about how this event has changed over the years. What was your first year doing the TV tour?
My first tour was in June. They were back in June then, in 1986 at the Century Plaza Hotel. I was a young reporter, and I unfortunately listened to my union rep on that, and my union rep encouraged me to file for overtime. So I filed for overtime for all the parties I went to and worked, and filed for overtime on the travel time. Mm-hmm. My overtime bill was so big they wouldn't let me come again for 2.5 years. But since then I've come, this is my 53rd tour. I was only 4 years old when I started. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, and I don't need to check the documents to believe that. That's totally believable. But I think it's remarkable how the tour has evolved into the digital age. You know, when I started, and you were here years before I was, it really was maybe a story a day, filed, sometimes dictated to an editor at home.
There was actually, you know, during my early years, the laptops only were like the Radio Shack, sort of 6 lines on the screen.
Right, Trash 80.
And Trash 80, you would just file it. You would put acoustic couplers on a phone and transmit it at 300 baud. There was so much material here, I would file it, and I would get actually calls from my editors telling me to slow down because they didn't have room to run all this stuff. Now, of course, it's completely opposite. Everybody's tweeting, blogging. It is just an information flow that is nonstop.
Yeah, and I would take boxes of transcripts home of the panel Q&A sessions to use later. And now, pretty much every good quote from every session is out by the end of the session. And so that sort of changes how you approach covering this thing.
It is, but there's so much material in each of these sessions that a good journalist will look back at it and rework some of it into fresh stories down the road when the shows actually appear. And that's the key to this. This is one of the most cost-efficient trips for any newspaper, any media outlet. And if it's worked properly, the cost per story is actually so much lower than, say, anybody covering a football game or anything else like that.
Anything upcoming that you're looking forward to as far as programming goes? Anything you've seen here?
Oh, no.
A golf? Right. Really, the tournaments start here pretty soon, don't they?
Looking forward to in terms of what?
Programming. Any shows you've seen or panels that you've seen here that sort of piqued your interest?
There have been lots of things. I'm a big Netflix fan. I think they had a very full day, but I think it was a very good day. I think Netflix and other streaming services are going to fundamentally change the way that television does business. We're already seeing that. We're seeing, you know, we thought Netflix, it's a big hit among young viewers, but as your mom can attest,
sure,
you know, older viewers are cluing into it too and just loving it. So I think it's just, we're on the cusp of a change that's still going to get even bigger.
And the presence of streaming services here has been a big change.
It has.
Netflix presented a full day yesterday, panel after panel of their new and returning shows, and it was all solid content. There's a lot to write. And
there are more streaming sites and other sites that are interested in coming on board. We may have, you know, Facebook. We may have YouTube as a presenter, in which case maybe you and I can do a seminar on how to do this.
Right. I don't how not to do this. Is more
or
like
how
it.
not to do this, that's right.
Well, great. Thanks very much, Eric.
Okay.
How can people find your work? Where should they look for you?
I do some work for Channel Guide, so Channel Guide Magazine and channelguideblog.com. I do have a website and a Twitter handle, which we'll see in the end credits here, so we can do that.
No, stick around for that.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
All right.
Bye.